Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Aaron Rodgers Pittsburgh Steelers What If He Comes Back in 2026 Rebuild Series. It's a long title. Anyway, we are here in trade negotiations. Look, I'm not going to go a full season of Broderick Jones starting at left tackle, and unfortunately, Dylan Cook isn't even on the team, and if he was, he wouldn't play as good as he did in real life, so we unfortunately may have to trade Jack Sawyer, who I really like. I think he's going to be a great, bright, young player for the Steelers in real life. However, of course, we have TJ Watt, who is 31, and, we could look to do something with him at some point. But we do, as we just traded, or just signed, rather, in the offseason during the draft, Ty Saxton, who is literally, just a carbon copy of Jack Sawyer, just 3 years younger. So unfortunately for Jack Sawyer, that means he is probably a moving block for us. And fortunately for us, the New York Jets are interested in trading back Aaron Rodgers, one of his former teammates, Elijah Vera Tucker. Now, he does have a big contract. He is age 27, and we do have to throw in a 6th-round pick, and that won't even get it done. I was wondering if it was going to or not. All right, well, you're going to see in real time here. We'll throw in a 5th, as that will certainly get it done. I just want to see if I could get back a late 6th. They don't have a 7th, or else I would try to get that. Whoa. What is this? We don't feel the offer brings enough value comparatively to what we'd be giving up. So you want me to give up a 4th? I mean, I think that's kind of steep. But they will, and that's what's going to happen. So the other place I was looking for maybe some help at left tackle, of course, was maybe signing someone, or this menu here, which I never use a ton of, but it's a nice menu. It puts free agents and maybe some trades here in a pool for you. Obviously, looking at left tackle here, I found this guy, Jason Kubiak, which maybe is a relation to the big Kubiak family from the National Football League. He's a free agent with a hidden dev at left tackle, and the Chargers have stashed him away on their practice squad. 76 pass blocking with 61 run block. I mean, honestly, I think his pass blocking is at or near what Broderick Jones is. So we are going to sign him. But we don't have enough room, so cap room. We will sign him here in a second. All right, well, we made the necessary adjustments. I actually restructured Elijah Vera Tucker's contract because he is 27, shouldn't regress much next year. It's just a 2-year deal, and we will want to keep him on the offensive line. I still have not done anything with Kyle Duggar yet. He has $12 million in cap space that if we chose to move on from him, we could gain some from that, so we'll see if anything like that happens. Back to the offensive line, of course, here. Vera Tucker will start at left tackle, then we'll go Bitonio with Frazier, McCormick, and Fatanu at right tackle, and then I did put our guy Kubiak, the potential, the hidden development, we signed at backup right tackle. The defense kind of looks the same. And with that said, we are going to be able to jump right here into one of these games against the Atlanta Falcons here in Week 2. We'll start with just playing the offense. We'll see how it goes. And I like Atlanta in these alternate classics. I think they just look really fresh. But another thing that I don't think I've talked about yet, we did add a slider set. So we are on a slider set. Hopefully it should make it a lot more difficult. I did a test game, and it certainly did. We were getting blown out until the 4th quarter. We made a great comeback, by the way, but I just was not able to complete it. But the slider set seemed pretty good. The only thing I had to tweak from it was the injury slider was at like 80, I think. And I've played this game before, and anytime the slider set is above 15, you are getting an injury every single play, and that is what I noticed with that. So good thing we got the test game out of the way. We figured that out, and now we are good to take on the Atlanta Falcons under a new head coach. I don't know who his name is. I maybe should have looked that up, but our Steelers defense gets a stop to start the game, which you love to see. Now, the one thing, I learned, as I haven't played a ton of Madden, and today when I was looking up what slider set to maybe use, I figured out that running is overpowered. Now, I had a hunch, given that Jaylen Warren had 235 yards a week ago, but I also had a hunch that the Browns just suck, right? So we'll see if we figured that out. Rodgers on the second pass of the game, or play of the game rather, first pass of the game is complete. It is going to be a 3rd and 1. Let's see if we can get this ahead for a first down. Now I would like to do a little fullback dive here with Darnell, but that's not an option. A good block by Darnell Washington sneaks Jaylen Warren through for a first down. Kenneth Gainwell, the team MVP from a season ago, checks into the game, and he's got some running room. Down the left sideline, he gets laid out hard, but he gets a gain of 13. First down for the Steelers. The one thing I notice with the injury slider is we have a chance here. We'll follow that thought up in a second. We have a chance at DK on the left sideline. We'll see if the safety helps. He does. Rodgers passes. Freiermuth with a good catch. A good box out. A gain of 6. An issue with the sliders and with injuries is, I want to have injuries. It is obviously a big part of the game, as there's a great catch by Freiermuth. It is a massive part of the game to have injuries. However, at the rate that they are had, when you have them, the injury slider, I just find it's just way too many. There's a crack pitch to the outside. Jaylen Warren will get there and get 8 yards. Well, we're sticking with the ground game here early. Not trying to cheese the system, but just trying to get some good chunk plays. And we've done that so far here today. Here's a give. Darnell Washington will cheese the system up ahead for a big first down. Madden at some time has got to put in, the tush push, right? As long as it continues to not get outlawed at some point. I appreciate getting hit there, because 47 probably would have made a play on that pass. As long as it continues to not be banned, it's got to be in Madden at some point. Rodgers fires. Freiermuth, first down. And I think, they probably don't want to do it to break the game, but I think, they put in these systems to limit play calls. And obviously it's something that you have to schedule, as I'm not surprised there, as it's a DK drop in the end zone. Granted, tough catch. But it's something that you have to put in the settings. I think they could easily put that in. It's a great move by Marvin Mims. Just put that into the game, right? You use the tush push. You could only call it 2 times a game, or 2 times in a row or something. The unfortunate thing is we've seen the Eagles run it 5 times in a row, right? But I'm sure it breaks the game. But we want, as DK is wide open, as my thoughts, this is what I was going to say. We want the game to mimic real life as much as we can. So, well, that's not a mimic of real life. It's a DK catch for a touchdown. Man, I'm sorry. The DK slander has been something here in the first couple games, and maybe I need to tweak it back. Maybe I do. Rodgers gives to Warren for 1 yard. All right, we'll look to open some things up here. And I think, the next defensive possession, maybe we'll take a couple snaps on the defense. See if we can also help put a very dominant effort here in the first quarter. I think this is kind of the visions of what Steelers fans had for this last season, right? A dominant defense and a veteran quarterback just slinging the rock and doing what he can, right? Taking what the defense gives him. And at times that's what the Steelers were. Other times you might ask, yeah, they looked like they played the Houston Texans, right? I mean, it is what it is. Rodgers. Oh, boy. Okay, I wanted to throw it away, but instead, Rook Okohorie, I have no idea how you say his name. I've never seen his name before. Gets the sack. 2nd and 15. Rodgers. Yep, that's going to be a pick. I knew it when I threw it. They were in zone. They tricked me early. Wasn't paying attention enough, and the Falcons might have a little life here. Okay. Well, I start talking, and I start not paying attention. So let's go back to the paying attention here. Start with a run to the outside. Jalen Warren. A loss of 2. I know I said it in the first game here, but this is not a playbook that I necessarily love. I also... Oh my goodness. What in the world is that? I also don't know how to send people up the field. I don't know how to playmaker in this game. I've tried it so many times, and every time I just try to hit stick. So that would have been an easy playmaker for Pat Freiermuth just a couple plays ago. Instead, we get an Aaron Rodgers 24-yard run. Rodgers from the shotgun, surveys, fires, Freiermuth, what a good ball. Down to the 30, Rodgers with a great play, pass, action. Get an up top over the defense for a first down. Sometimes I start saying stuff, and I don't even know if I know what I'm saying. I was so mesmerized. I noticed the logo before the pass. Are they wearing... Or are the logos alternate because they're wearing their uniforms? Or does random games just have it? Either way, it's a cool feature that Madden did that. Thought about throwing it to Marvin Mims there, but doesn't go that way, and we do have an injury here, and you have got to be kidding me. I'm going to see Broderick Jones back in this game. You've got to be kidding me. He's going to the sidelines. He's going to the locker room. Is what that is called. That is insane. Broderick Jones is just laughing at me right now. You can't get rid of me. Well, we're going to take a look after this play. As it looked like he almost got beat immediately on that play. We're going to take a look at that rookie we just signed. I want to see... Is the rookie better than left tackle Broderick Jones? Elijah Vera Tucker into the locker room, skipped the blue medical tent. I hate how this stuff is all the way down here. I think I said it in the last game too. 76. 78 rather, and 76. I don't know, man. Kind of want to give Jason Kubiak the nod here. I'm gonna. How old is Broderick? I mean, he's 3. He's 25, not much older. We're gonna give Jason Kubiak the nod. We're going to find out how this goes. Jason Kubiak, the rookie, has checked into the ballgame. Rodgers from the shotgun Kubiak holds up on the first play. Rogers finds Marvin Mims, and it's a quadricep strain for Elijah Vera Tucker. He will not be able to return to today's contest. Have not heard what that means for the remainder of his season. Of course, Aaron Andrews will keep us apprised to that on the end zone. She's not in the end zone, but we get in the end zone here. Touchdown, Steelers. We'll take that. That's a good bounce-back drive. Starting with a run here. I talked about, Aaron Andrews. What is everyone's favorite sideline reporter? I don't know who mine is. I do like Laura Rutledge. They showed that clip of her running on the sideline. I don't even know what game that was. She had to run all the way across the field. I think it was a college game. Just like the hustle. And I liked when Boomer clipped it and made a big deal out of it. I thought that was cool. I don't know. I guess we're going to keep Clinton on that little short end there. I had a chance at Freiermuth. Didn't know how the protection was going to hold up on the left side of the line, so I thought to get rid of it. Maybe could have held on a little bit longer. We're going to have to see. Maybe the free agent rookie is going to do fine on that left side. I mean, I think I talked about earlier, right? We don't have a Dylan Cook on this team. Maybe, as I say that, he gets beat. I was going to say maybe he fills that Dylan Cook role where Dylan Cook played pretty solid for the Steelers down the stretch. Maybe he doesn't. My apologies there, fellas. That was one I should have. I should have played that defensive series for sure. Anyway. Rogers throws. Freiermuth will not get the first down. We do have three timeouts, rather. I'd rather not use one. I want to get one more play off here. And it's a drop. Well, that's unfortunate. Really doesn't help us out. Does help us out if we have to give the football back, though. Rogers finds Metcalf across the 50 and will burn a timeout there. Now 17 seconds. It was in the Steelers game. Troy Aikman did a very good job breaking down on when you should call the timeouts. As we got to lock in here for a second. Rogers incomplete. He did a good job, as I would expect him to do, talking about that and how you should think about it. I think a lot of coaches should take some notes. There's a completion. Clinton, timeout. So we have 8 seconds. We've got to get some more yardage here for Chris Boswell. I mean, he can probably hit from where we are. The other thing is we just settle when we go inside zone here. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good execution of a drive there. Good stuff. That's why you love to have those 3 timeouts there all the way at the end of the game. It really, really can help your squad out. Okay, we'll see if we can get some points here, and I promise we will play the next defensive possession. Rogers telling Kenneth Gainwell to go to the left side, and he will get 5 on the first carry. Again, just not loving this play sheet. Here we find DK over the middle for the first down. Good job by Rogers standing tall in the pocket and delivering a strike to his veteran receiver. This PA end round looks nice. It also looks like a big sack waiting to happen. Let's see what happens here. Oh, my God. He got destroyed. Okay. Here's the rookie left tackle. Okay. So, what I would say after that is we might need to help on the left side of the line. But also what I would say to that is it's not too much different than if Broderick Jones was out there. Look, I'm going to be honest, okay? Good strike by Rodgers there. You tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. Maybe Broderick Jones doesn't get bullied like that instantly, but I guarantee you he's given up a sack on that play. Rodgers finds Mims for 4 yards. Marvin Mims, a good, stability piece we've added to this offense. Just haven't gotten to give him a lot of touches. Would love to certainly increase those. As it looks like he is open. We fire complete. Looked like someone might have jumped or lined up off sides, which is just bonkers. Yes, that's A.J. Terrell. So if we accept it, it's going to be 2nd and 2, which means we will do that. That will come Darnell Washington and the big guys. We're going to see if we can manufacture some stuff here. Actually, I don't want Lazard. I want... There we go. Okay, let's see. I don't know if we're going to have time. Oh! Okay, yeah. I was hoping that guy wouldn't come down or stay there. I was hoping he would have done something. Maybe moved around a little bit. We did not get him to move. And unfortunately, I gave a hospital ball to Darnell Washington. That one is not, though. It's a touchdown to Pat Freiermuth, and we have extended our lead. (24-13). Sliders looking a little better. Still forcing some issues with us. Y.A. Black with a tackle there. 2nd and 9 for Penix Jr. in the offense. Penix will get the snap. He'll throw complete. No. Hard hit by the Steelers. That was 46. That might be our rookie. No, actually, that was Devin Bush. Great tackle there. Penix stepping left. He's got time. He's got space. Penix. Whoa. 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 I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to see a big whiff like that, but it would be with a tackle attempt, not just a wrong route to the football by Jalen Ramsey. There's a good route to the football. We do have to jump back to that play, as that was my fault. I didn't keep contained. I tried to get on the inside of the tackle. As this time, I do pretty good at my job. That's our first sack on the day. Would you believe it? Wow, and would you believe Cleveland is in a ball game with the Chiefs, 13-7. Man, maybe Cleveland's coming back. Mike Tomlin gonna resurrect them. Here, Penix steps up, fires. Oh my goodness. I clicked in, and I shouldn't have. I sent that linebacker down, and Lindenbaum is hurt. But more importantly for the Falcons is they get a conversion. Patrick Queen is the linebacker. He'll drop back into coverage. Penix will fire his way. It's intercepted. Oh, man, what a big play. What a user lurk right in front of Drake London. You'll love to see it. That's the Mike linebacker, number 6, Patrick Queen, with a big interception for this Steelers defense. He drops back into coverage, confuses Michael Penix, goes all the way across the play, and as Drake London runs out of room, well, Patrick Queen did not, and he gets the INT. Rogers and McCarthy talking on the sidelines. Their red zone efficiency pretty good so far here today. Okay. This is not a time to take a shot. However, I do like Freiermuth in the slot. Freiermuth! He's got it! That's Pat Freiermuth! Wow! Is he hurt? He's slow to get up. Not sure who the injured player is, and it is. Pat Freiermuth stretching on the sidelines. Hopefully we'll see him back in this game shortly. Man, that was a big pass. Big completion. Rogers finds Gainwell, and he will extend. They won't give him the first down. We've got leg cramps for Pat Freiermuth. We're going to send him back into the football game. This is 2nd and inches from the 8. Rogers gives the stretch. This is Gainwell. He can't get all the way outside, but he does get the first down. Zach Frazier loves to see it. All right, we got Darnell Washington across. Can we have enough time? Rogers, we do. Washington touchdown. And we may be putting the route on a team 2 weeks in a row. Wow. 3 straight incompletions. Oops, we don't want to go no huddle. I swear to you, I did these sliders and I lost. It was a close game. I threw some picks. It was a close game that turned into a blowout that then became a close game, as we probably should sit Pat Freiermuth down for the rest of the game. Anyway, it was a ball game. It was intense. This one, not so much. Maybe just this Steelers team is goated. And I think it's Joel Bitonio this time. Strained forearm. Let's go heavy wrist tape and get him back out there. Maybe it's just this Steelers team is absolutely goated. Or I didn't test after changing the injury slider. Okay, there it is. I thought he also got hurt. And the one thing I have thought, and I don't remember if I've said it or not, but I know weird things are connected in Madden. Weird sliders connect weird things. So I wanted to test. That's why I used his injury, because I know it affects weird things, and I wanted to see how it would work, but it was a little too much for me. Speaking of, has Jaylen Warren come into the game and touched the football? It's really been all Kenneth Gainwell. I don't think Warren is hurt, unless if he got hurt on a kickoff or something. There's a first down to Gainwell. And we are routing the Atlanta Falcons yet again. I forget, I never do substitutions and stuff from here. I have no idea how to do it. Let's see, subs. He can get in there. Okay. I don't know. He's got some wear and tear. We'll keep it with Gainwell. He'll get near the 20, brought down at the 21. Huh. Interesting. I also changed... See, it's not even giving him as an option. You know, I also changed the wear and tear. And I've never messed with those sliders, so I have no idea how those work. But obviously it was what he recommended. Okay, the ideal play I would like here is a boot to the left. Or excuse me, to the right. This PA sprint halfback flat is not the design I would go with. But it is the design we're going to go with here. We're going to sprint out. Nothing's open. And we'll just throw it in the dirt. That's okay. Except for Pat Fryermuth getting back into the bleeping game. Why is he in there? Rodgers with the play fake. Oh, that was a bad pass. Was that caught? That was almost an incredible catch by Marvin Mims. It was a bad pass by Rodgers. 3rd and goal. Rodgers fires. Gainwell. No juke move placed. Yes, I know. See, this is what I'm talking about. That's the stuff I'm talking about right there. All right, we get a field goal. All right, we are going to jump to change of possession. Okay, they score. It is a 14-point game, so no substitutions can be had here. We still have to play some football. Got to get some first downs. Without a couple of the top targets on offense. Here's the completion. Darnell Washington, first down. See, this is what I'm talking about with the injuries. Starting to make me mad. Rodgers. This is Gainwell. He gets outside. He gets back inside, and he gets a first down. No injury on that play. That's good to see. If anyone's watching has any suggestions on injury sliders, of course, please let me know. Rodgers with a little turbo set there. Gets 5 yards. And I don't know. See, now we got Caleb Johnson in the game. I don't know. Ooh, that could have been dangerous. I don't know why we haven't seen our guy Jalen Warren. Third and 5. Rodgers fires across the middle with pressure in his face. It's complete to Washington for the first down. Man, Rodgers has had to step in and deliver some strikes, which, of course, with this Steelers offensive line, although it is trying to be fixed, it's not perfect. And as evident right there, Rodgers stands in and delivers. Okay, so I wanted to run it to the other side and just kind of see. You cannot run that play against Mr. Walker. Okay. In case if anyone at home was wondering. Here we get the pass. This is Kenneth Gainwell on the inside. 3rd and 1. I just keep calling him Kenneth Gainwell. You know, I know he goes by Kenny. But I think Kenneth Gainwell just sounds better. Quietly, this has been a really big drive for us. As mentioned, Atlanta has made this a football game. And we have answered on our own terms here. Rodgers completes to Mims, close to a first down. And now Atlanta will have to start to burn some of their timeouts. I really want to go with a jet sweep here, but we're going to lose, I don't know, 47 yards. Here's Gainwell to the 1. And guess what? Another injury. That's 2 injuries on the offensive line. I think both of them got hurt, right? Yeah, I don't know what to do about the injury slider, man. And then it's like, you change it, and then you're screwed. Like, I don't know if I can get it back to not having injuries. I'm going to have to set it to 0. Troy Fatanu, yeah, I know. Well, Kubiak, he can't sub in for you because he's in on the other side. That should do it here, right? It will. 41-20 is your score from Atlanta as the Steelers put up 40-plus points in Week 1 and Week 2. And in an offense that put up just 6 points in their last game at home a season ago in the playoffs. A little different here with the Mike McCarthy-led scheme. We'll check the stats real quick. Rodgers, 29 of 40, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Did have a 61-yard completion, 72% completion percentage. Kenneth Gainwell, 13 carries for a $109. Jaylen Warren, 10 carries for 15 yards, so not a good day for him. Pat Freiermuth had a big day, 8 for 131 and a touchdown. Did get hurt about 47 times. The rookie had 68 yards. Marvin Mims with 34, and DK Metcalf with a quiet 36. Oh, look at that. Calvin Austin with a quiet 52 on the other sideline. Didn't have a ton of sacks today for us. Patrick Queen did have that user interception, and we will roll past the Falcons in Week 2, 41-20. Well, we're going to jump right into Game 2 here on the episode. We head to Raymond James Stadium as the 2-0 Pittsburgh Steelers come into the town to take on the orange creamsicle Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This has got to be one of my favorite uniforms in the entire National Football League. Obviously wanted the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers to go far this year, but really wanted Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. Wanted to buy one of those orange creamsicle jerseys. Can you imagine if they made it to the Super Bowl? Obviously they wouldn't wear them, but put the orange creamsicle jerseys with the Super Bowl patch on top of it. Probably wouldn't look good, but it would be cool. I would have bought those, but nonetheless, it does not happen. And we will kick off first here, as I keep forgetting to play offense only. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers searching for a win here. So maybe we can take them to town here early. There's Baker. Doesn't show his stats because, of course. We're going to just kind of slow sim a little bit here, play by play, see what happens. A 4-yard run. There's a couple more, and it's a quick 3 and out. One thing I hadn't talked about yet so far is what's going on with the Saints franchise, if we're going to get back to that. And, I really do enjoy, or I wanted to really rebuild the New Orleans Saints. Just haven't played much in it in a long time. I do have some backlog of games. As there, a drop. I mean, it was a hard hit by Clinton, and he may be in some pain, holding his left knee. The injury slider is something I did not change, so we will see if it affects us here in this game. I do have one Saints game that was just fantastic, and we'll upload that for sure, even if we don't continue the franchise. There was a fumble. It was picked up by Mims. It wouldn't have or should not have counted as a fumble anyway. However, it is 4th and 1. Let's send fullback dive out there. I think Darnell Washington can get this. This is a full one. There's the Gav Washington straight up the middle for a first down. Well, if they don't give us the old tush push, we'll find a way to get it ourselves, and that does it for Mike McCarthy and his offense. Rodgers under center with a quick fire, and that is intercepted. Man, it was man-to-man. Jacob Parrish with the pick. It was man-to-man, and on that left side there, obviously couldn't see what was happening, but you just anticipate a guy like DK to win the route. He does not. And on the RPO, disaster strikes. JK, we get it right back to Sean Elliott with a big play. Still is disaster, though, because I'm going to limit those interceptions with old Raj. Here we're going to throw over the top of DK Metcalf. Thought it had a chance at it. I tried to get my feet set before we made the throw. It did not work out in our favor. Here, the blitz comes. We've got some time. Actually, a good blitz pickup by the offensive line, and I forgot to look. I would assume we're back to normal on the left side. Elijah Vera Tucker is back into the game, so the rookie just had that one game of experience. Here, Jalen Warren trying to bounce it outside, now cutting back in, and he doesn't go real far. Okay. See, like this right here, you know, the game does not do a great job of substituting wide receivers or running backs for that matter. I mean, that was who I wanted to talk about, but we're talking about receivers. But they don't, and you know, it gets them real tired as the game goes on. So Jalen Warren is the tailback. We're going to see if this play action gets him to bite. Hopefully we've got a little bit of time. We do. The pass is complete to the big guy, Darnell Washington, who, you know, we haven't talked about his injury IRL. Just so sad for his season to end that way. And you know, the kind of offense of weapon he was producing for us, you wonder, you know, I mean, you play the what-if game on just about anything in that Texans playoff game, but you wonder on that too. Rodgers firing. That's him again. Washington with a first down. Now, that doesn't excuse that Pat Freiermuth was used extremely sparingly this season in real life. Here we complete to Warren. Tried to get out of bounds just to limit some hits, but we can't on that one. Gainwell checks into the game. We'll go a little pump pass and run for -1 yards. So a good job early by this Bucs front. Other than that Darnell Washington run, not a lot doing on the ground game. Here, Rodgers surveying, rolling outside, and I'm going to throw it away. I wanted to throw it to circle. I believe it was Marvin Mims. I just didn't want to throw a pick there. If I would have guaranteed him, you know, to throw it on the outside, that's where I would have wanted it. But I just don't trust Madden's accuracy when you're rolling out like that. So we'll live to serve another down, and we indeed do, as we get the football back after a good stop by our defense. Rodgers. And I tried to throw that one away. We're getting outside the pocket, maybe getting a little antsy, looking like C.J. Stroud in that playoff game. You know, there was plenty of times where he got out of the pocket when he didn't need to, and Troy was the first one to point it out. Second and 19, don't want a penalty. We'll get the completion to Marvin Mims, and that's a great job by Marvin Mims, just getting a real good chunk play back into it, and it becomes third and a manageable 7, and that's what happens when you don't just run a screen pass on those predictable downs. Here, Rodgers completes. Jalen Warren down the left sideline with a juke back to the 30. We'll take that big first down conversion. Gainwell checks into the game after the hard hit by Jalen Warren, and to be honest, I don't blame him. Here's a run that goes nowhere. And that's the end of the first quarter. All right, Freiermuth in the slot. We've hit it before. Make a little adjustment. Can we fit it in? We can, but he drops the pass. You know, those are ones that I think statistically are drops, but the two we've seen, they're just such hard hits that I wouldn't call them that. Rogers, blitz coming. We throw that way. It was a great job drawing the play up to that side where the blitz was going to come from. But let's guess. Elijah Vera Tucker. No, it's Troy Fatanu. With the penalty, and it now becomes 3rd and 20. That's a tough penalty to get there. Rogers now from the pistol. We're just going to take the check down to Darnell Washington. Maybe had Marvin Mims if he was getting open in the secondary. I was worried about pressure in my face. And it forces a turnover or a punting opportunity. Here we go with some Baker Mayfield action. There's a run to Rashid White. Excuse me, that's Bucky Irving for 3 yards. I never know Bucky Irving or Rashid White's numbers. I think Rashid White is like 20, right? Anyway. Alex Highsmith is a star. That's pretty cool. Here's a give to Bucky Irving again. And he gets a big chunk for a first down. So a couple back-to-back good runs on first down. Tampa Bay's starting to move the football. Baker will give again. Irving, this time, will only get a couple. Baker fires complete over the middle. That's Emeka Egbuka down inside the 30, or rather the 40, is where they're going to mark it down. Good quick pass to Emeka Egbuka in this offense that's trying to find their footing. No Mike Evans as he left in free agency. They're trying to find their footing with these 2-star wide receivers and not 3. Second and 10 for Mayfield as they're creeping in on field goal range. The pass is complete. There's Irving. He'll get it to a 3rd and 1 on the tackle by Patrick Queen. And this is an interesting situation here for the Steelers. 3rd and 1. The give is to Irving. He's got a first down. I was just trying to think before that play, who would be Mike McCarthy's defensive coordinator? I don't know. But there's a pass completed across the middle. You know, I think as the days go by here, of course, a couple days removed now from that that playoff loss and the Tomlin resignation, I don't think it's real likely that we see Mike McCarthy in a Steelers quarter zip on the sideline. But, you know, for the sake of getting Rodgers to play one more year, I just hope it happens. Here's the completion to Emeka Egbuka inside the 5, and we'll see where they spot him. Chain Gain has him just short of the first down, 3rd and inches, and the big jumbo personnel comes into the game. Baker will sneak, and he'll get the first down. No tush-push, just good old-fashioned quarterback sneak, and Baker Mayfield, not afraid of contact, finds his way into the end zone for a first down, though. Is that a false start, or is that an offsides on us? Man, I love this penalty sliders because they actually happen. Penalties actually happen. I haven't seen a ton on the opposing team, though. Just going to say. All right, now this is interesting. They go shotgun after that play. Well, they'll get it into the end zone. Bucky Irving for the touchdown. Okay, so maybe our CPU defense is just elite, which I know that's the case. But I thought this slider set was also supposed to help with that too. Rodgers under center, fakes to Jaylen Warren, surveying the field, throws. That is going to be caught. Whoa, they're going to say incomplete. That was real close. I know sometimes they struggle getting their feet down on the boundary. I thought 1, 2. Now, the question is, does he get that second one down before the other one goes out of bounds? I'm going to challenge it. I'm going to throw the challenge flag and see. it's the first half still, so, 3 timeouts isn't huge. Rarely do you ever have a game where you have 2 challenges, especially in Madden. And they did change the rule to where you just have to win 1 to win the 3rd challenge. They're going to give it to us. 1st and 10. Well, we love to see that. A completion on the sidelines by Marvin Mims. 1st down, Steelers. Oh, my goodness. Warren is getting popped in the backfield. And he's hungry. Was that Levante David? I think he, the independent neurologist, may need to buzz down and get him out for a play or two. Dude is going crazy. Okay, I was trying to make a joke there and didn't pay attention. Now it's 3rd and long. See, that was a classic play call right there. 3rd and 9. We're going to get sacked. Okay, well, after that completion, we do nothing. And we'll see if our defense can do something on Baker. They're going backwards in a hurry. But that was the end of the half. Okay. Okay, well, I wasn't watching the clock, so they must have been just trying to run the clock out there. That makes more sense. All right, a shot play to start the second half. Really doesn't make sense with the state of our offensive line, but we still have the option to dump it down quick, and we do. All right, well, after putting up, 40-plus in 2 straight games, we are stagnant here in Game 3. I see DK's got press outside, but still kind of upset at him for that interception. Here we'll go to Marvin Mims, and he'll get the 1st down. 5 catches, 68 yards for the trade acquisition. Proven off to be worth something here. We'll go with a little quick snap. Oof. Another one of those statistical drops, really hard hit. I mean, the ball was kind of where I wanted it to be, in between the backer and the corner. Just couldn't get it to fall. We've got Freiermuth here open in the flat, so we're going to take it any day of the week. Freiermuth down to the 27. First and 10. I don't know if this ground game is going to get working. Here, Warren. Can he get to the outside? He's going to get around that big fella, and he's going to get 9. We'll take that. We'll take that. You see his total, 260 yards, and I think he had, 250 in Game 1? Maybe not that, but, I mean, he's certainly come down to earth after we added some sliders, which is good. Not for his contract, however. I don't know if he's in a contract here. I'm not sure who is. Blitz off the left side. We're going to get rid of it quick. This is Gainwell in the flat. I thought he was going to maybe be able to get around that corner. Man, that's a fantastic tackle. You know Chris Collinsworth and all those color commentators would just love that tackle in the open field. Whoa. Oh, yeah, I love me some corn dog trail. I actually like Marvin Mims on this. I also like Tyquan Thornton. We'll see who gets open. We're going to throw it late to Mims, but it's caught for a touchdown. Man, I was late on it. I should have got off Thornton sooner. Luckily, the defense didn't make me pay, but Marvin Mims Jr. with a big touchdown. Now, he is someone that we do have to extend contract-wise. And I would like to continue this series after, Aaron Rodgers stops playing, whenever that happens. Maybe we can get another year out of him. Who knows? But as the defense is humming. Marvin Mims is a guy that we certainly would like to offer an extension to and to come an agreement to. The other possibility we haven't talked about, and I just thought about it, because I talked about the coming to an agreement on an extension. This whole Matt LaFleur news is kind of wild. If he's going to come back, or if Green Bay's going to sign him, or get the deal done, as that is what we want from DK Metcalf. Just over the top of the defense, DK Metcalf for the touchdown. Side note quick from the Matt LaFleur. I love Al Michaels. I love him, and I have no problem with it, but that is how he calls touchdown plays. But that's how he's always called touchdown plays, and these guys that are mad at him for how he's calling the game now, it's like, no, he's been authentic to himself. He's never changed as an announcer, and that's why I love him. Anyway, back to LaFleur. You know, if they can't get a deal done and they trade him, I think that's another one of those only possibilities that Rodgers comes back to Pittsburgh. I think it would make a lot of sense for Pittsburgh to go get a guy like Matt LaFleur. He's still young, even though he's now, the oldest coach in the AFC NFC playoffs this week. Well, not anymore, but, this year. He is a bright guy. He's obviously not been able to win some big games, as there's a huge hit by Jalen Ramsey. But, I mean, if the Steelers would like the idea of Rodgers coming back and seeing for one more year what they can get out of a team, and obviously Will Howard maybe learns for another year, or you draft a guy, although the class isn't that great. Oh my goodness. Jalen Ramsey. Wow. I stopped talking because I saw him coming down, and that was tremendous. Joey Porter Jr. with the pickup of the football, but watch Jalen Ramsey here. I've said this a couple times, but this is what the vision of Steelers football is. Boom! That's nice. All I'm saying is I think LaFleur would be a very, very, I don't know if safe is the right word, but intriguing. It would be a smart way for the Steelers to go. Not that there's other ways that couldn't be smart for them. I think there's plenty of ways that they can get their next coach for a long, long time. But Mike McCarthy, maybe you could get 10 years out of. He's getting up there in age. Matt LaFleur, you could still get, your 15 to 20. And that's what those Steelers love. And what better way to settle in a new city if you're Matt LaFleur than have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, who, after that first year, really made his offense hum. Good blitz there off the right side, by the way. Here, we complete this pass to Freiermuth. We cut back inside and get inside the 15. So Rodgers kind of having a veteran day here. Settled in after that early pick. Thank you, DK. And really getting this offense humming. Rodgers with the play fake. On the roll, and it's incomplete. Clinton had it in his hands for a moment. Just couldn't get enough separation from that DB at the start of the play. Rodgers. Oh, brother. Now, okay. Now DK made up for one, right? That was another one of those balls I was late on. And their guy was coming in after it. And luckily, they didn't make us pay. But we are having Tyquan Thornton score a touchdown. And, I thought this slider set was going to make some things a little more challenging for us here. But that may not be the case. All right, we're going to play all offense here. Oh, my goodness. Asante Samuel just got a 36-yard interception return, and we're at the 24. The route could be on. Now, this Tampa Bay team does not have a win so far this season, but I thought they might be a little better. There's a beautiful ball. Wow, perfect spot for Clinton, the rookie. And it is first and goal in the blink of an eye at the 5. Rodgers with the snap. Quick fire. Freiermuth into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. And we missed that 2-point conversion, or it was blocked, which, by the way, oops, I was going to go for it there. But, yeah, it is what it is. All right. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. I think this game is thoroughly in our favor. We'll put Tyler Huntley in. I think eventually, certainly a chance for the rookie to get in these situations. But here, we will just switch a little bit around. We'll put Broderick in. That's fine. And we certainly can't get this guy hurt either. We'll put that rookie in. And then Frazier. I want to put this. What is his name? Can he not play? I don't know. I lost where he's at. Oh, well, we're going to put this guy in. So we are putting Tyler Huntley in danger. Okay? He is in danger. I like the idea, of going under center here, but we got to go on the shotgun. I got to have a little bit of time to figure out what's going on here, because I assume we're going to get taken after immediately. Yeah, we're going to have to throw that one away. I thought about maybe bending it back all the way back to the other side of the field, but I eventually thought against that. Tyler Huntley is a guy that, I really haven't played with a speedy quarterback in this Madden. Obviously, I'm using Aaron Rodgers, so love you, bud, but not the definition of a speedy quarterback in this stage in his career. I think, oh my God, we're going to do a quarterback kneel on 4th and inches. That is not what I wanted to call. I think early in his career you would say, okay, well, we're punting it here. Can we do, we're going to see if this one works. JK, it did not. They score. It is 20 points here, but I trust Huntley. Back to Rodgers being mobile. Early in his career, he was a pretty quick guy, so I would say then he would be a little bit higher than average. Actually, I would say maybe he was considered fast, because outside of him, I'm blanking on some other really speedy quarterbacks in his day. Obviously, of course, Michael Vick. Cam Newton, but yeah, I don't know. He probably would have been considered a speedy guy. Okay, and this could get dangerous for us here. We're playing with our food a little bit. I really do not want to have to go back in and sub all those offensive linemen back in. Gainwell does not get the first down. We'll jump to the next play. Massive punt. Good job by our defense. We will take that. Clinton, I'd like to see what he can do on that route on the outside. I just know we're not going to get enough time. They've got a spy. We're going to get sacked. Well, we're going to inflate their sack numbers because I'm just dancing around here with Tyler Huntley, not really trusting a whole lot. Let's see, maybe we can get a completion here. There we go. That's Clinton, the rookie, who takes another hard hit. Don't feel good for that guy. Would love one of those read option plays. Question is, can I get to it? Option. There we go. Oh, golly. What is... Well, it looks like it's not going to work anyway, but I think I got a pull. Oh, I thought I was going to get out the outside edge of him, but it does not work. Another legal block in the back on top of it. That's wild. So they are going to push us back to 3rd and 11, which is interesting because it was going to be 4th and 5, and you would assume you don't go for it then. I was going to, but it don't matter anyway. We get it to 4th and inches. And okay, now if I pay attention, we can get to the right play on 4th and inches. We'll take that. Well, this game's just about over, but appreciate anyone who's watched the first couple episodes of this series. We'll try to get it out every couple of days. We throw that one away. Just want to keep the legacy of Rodgers going just a little bit longer, although I understand playing 2 games an episode, it's going to end it sooner than I would like, but I think there's a way. I think there's some coaching points you can spend to decrease the odds that your quarterback retires. Obviously, I don't expect it to necessarily work on a guy who is, what, going to be 45 when the next season starts? But maybe. Who knows? Should we try this stretch alert? We got Clinton. Clinton on the outside. We'll see if he can beat the press. Oh, my goodness. That's why that man, the rookie, should be our number 1 wideout. He beats the press and gets open, makes a diving catch in the end zone. Lance Clinton could be the new number 1 in Pittsburgh. Now, of course, DK makes that spectacular over-the-top catch, but we hold our streak alive. We had 7 points in the first half. We end with 41, and Tyler Huntley played basically the whole 4th quarter. Bucks have got to be bad, right? Anyway, it's a Steelers win, and Rodgers and Mike McCarthy and DK Metcalf go to 3-0 on this young NFL season. We'll check the stats quick and then get you out of here. Rodgers, of course, with that pick. 5 touchdowns. 21 of 29. Long was that 36-yard touchdown. Baker Mayfield, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. And Tyler Huntley, 5 for 8 for a touchdown. Nothing really doing for us in the ground game today. But through the air, Marvin Mims, 75 yards and a touchdown. Lance Clinton with that touchdown we saw just a moment ago. Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, Tyquan Thornton all get a touchdown. Of course, DK. A nice showing from the offense here today. Let's check the sacks real quick. Alex Highsmith, Devin Bush, and Keanu Benton, all with 2 total, technically. Asante Samuel, Patrick Queen, and Deshaun Elliott. But I see an injury notification there with Asante Samuel. Hope that is nothing serious. But that'll do it for episode 2 here in the, what are we calling this? Pittsburgh Steelers Rebuild Aaron Rodgers. Please continue to play football franchise. Yeah, that's the name. Broderick Jones, Our favorite left tackle gets an upgrade. But we hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we hope you like, subscribe, and comment down below, and we will see you around at the next episode.